welcome back to Tokimotive. Alright, so, plan for this episode and well this weekend, depending how much I get done, is I'm going to strip back the engine bay, guard everything out of it, clean it up, get rid of all the surface rust, rough the paint up a bit, and then I'm just going to give it a paint. I've got etch primer because some of it's going to be going back to bare metal, and from what I've seen this applies okay over paint. The factory paint, it doesn't seem to make it bubble up or anything silly like that, which is good. And I've got some black acrylic paint. Not $6 export enamel or any sort of enamel paint, because you can't. Enamel paint reacts with like acrylic and 2K and everything, 2-pack, when you spray over top of it. So you got to make sure you get the whole lot off if you ever plan to paint over it like out of a spray gun. So in the interest of potentially respraying the bay one day, I'm not going to use enamel, even if it is cheaper. This was like 13 bucks as opposed to $6 to $10 for enamel, but this isn't going to cause issues later if I ever want to respray it something nice. And I just went black because it's easy, hides imperfections, and it's just easy enough to keep clean. Like if you scuff it up, you don't notice it. Whereas if it was white or some nice pretty color, if I scratch it up, putting the engine in, or if I scratch it up just working on the car at drift events, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. I figure this would be fine. The other wagons was gloss black engine bay, it was just enamel and shit, but yeah, I think it'll be okay. And the SCA brand, like the super cheap brand paint, hasn't seemed to be too bad. Like the etch primer's gone really good on the patches I've done, so I don't know. See how we go. It doesn't have to be perfect, I just don't want it to look off-white and rusty. So, first step, gut the engine bay, maybe drop the subframe. I'll see how it looks underneath. I haven't really looked. I didn't look at this car much when I bought it, as you can probably tell. Gonna crack on some music, chuck his on time lapse. Alright, I'm not king. Hey girl. Quick little tip. When you don't have WD-40 or any other penetrants like that, ATF, auto transmission fluid, works a charm. Works as good, if not better, than WD-40, just a little less convenient to use. Bay pretty well stripped out. There's not much left in it apart from the hard line that runs the front brakes, which I don't really care if they get paint on them. These are what bolt through the chassis rail to the front cross member, which they got a lot of rust and shit sitting under them. They just have a little screw in the middle so you can unbolt them off the rail and they just slide straight out. I figure may as well get them out, I'll clean them up, give them a paint, and then that way it doesn't have all this surface rust and scale on that, you know, damaging the paint and rusting it up more, which at the end of the day is a drift shell, but for the sake of 2 minutes, I may as well do it. Clean it up, rough it all up so the paint will stick nice, and then, yeah, give it a coat. See how it comes out. I'm pleased. Perfect was not the goal. Fuck sanding and painting engine bays. This is fucked. I got rid of 99% of all the surface rust and everything. Treated all the rest of it. Treated any of the real bad spots. And sealed up a couple of seams along the chassis rail that were, the seam sealer was completely gone. Given it all a wipe down with prep wash. Again, it's not perfect, but it'd be good enough. It'd be good enough to make it half look decent. Alright, so that is it for this video. Quick thing that I worked out in the process of doing this. For a situation like mine where I can't really protect it all from dust, that's just floating around in the air. So you get little bits of dust drying on it when the paint dries, and you can feel it, and it makes it feel real rough and shitty. But because in this case I've done two coats, I've done a primer coat, then I've done a black coat. Just because I didn't buy enough paint and I didn't want to spend that much money. So, not really in a position to wet sand it. What I did was got some Viva paper towel, because let's face it, every other paper towel is shit but Viva. And dry, clean piece, and I just rubbed it over the whole paint. And it just knocked off all that dusty feeling and left it feeling nice and smooth without damaging the paint. It's a freaking awesome idea. I wish I'd been told that trick sooner. But for something like this, where you're just doing something quick, just rub over it with paper towel. Like, the finish that the black got was so much better than I expected. And I think part of it is just because I knocked off all that dustiness from the primer. Because once you put black over it, that shit stuck. So I've gone over the black again like that as well, and it's actually really smooth. I'm quite impressed at how well it came out for something that's a fairly quick job. But anyways guys, that's going to be it. I'm not going to keep you for any longer. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. Tell your friends about the channel. As always, appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.